Week 4 of the NFL season is here, and I'm going to go on a little rant about Week 4. It's not that I have an issue with Week 4, it's that I have an issue that teams have Week 4 bye weeks. I think bye weeks, Week 4 and 5 are kind of pointless, maybe even 6. I don't think there should be bye weeks this early. I think it's a waste of a bye week, low key, unless like the team is like completely banged up early on in the season, then they might need that bye week. But yeah, I just don't like bye weeks this early. But let's talk about last week first. Last week I went 10-6. 10-6 is okay, but I don't really like 10-6. I think 10-6 is just above average. I want to be great at predicting these games. So hopefully this week we can go back to 12-4 or something like that. So let's get into these predictions. This first one, this Thursday night football game, it's going to be a tough one to predict. Eagles at Packers. Packers are currently undefeated, 3-0. They're playing at home. Short week. Usually the home team has the advantage when it comes to Thursday night football. The Eagles, however, they're 1-2. They're banged up. And honestly, like, it's a tough game to predict. Like, I would like to pick the Packers. I think they could easily beat the Eagles, but seeing the Eagles at 1-3, I don't know, man. I see that as a must-win game for the Eagles this early on. The Eagles have to avoid going 1-3 at all costs, and I think they'll beat the Packers. They'll knock them off the undefeated ranks. Next game, Titans at Falcons. The Titans are 1-2. Haven't looked very good. I don't think Marcus Mariota is the guy for the Titans. The Titans' O-line looks terrible. This is the last week that they have to play without Taylor Lewan. And honestly, I think the Falcons get the win here at home. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Titans somehow pulled off the win. Because for whatever reason, the Titans are just that team. Like, you think they're going to lose, but they win. You think they're going to win, but they lose. So, you just never know with this Titans team. Maybe they can win, but if they lose to the Falcons, they'll be 1-3, 0-2 in their division. I know it's kind of early, but the Titans at 1-3, 0-2 in their division, their season might be over. Redskins at Giants. If the Redskins put in Dwayne Haskins, this game might be interesting. You know, Dwayne Haskins versus Daniel Jones. If not, then it's going to be a boring game, snooze fest. I think the Redskins are kind of dumb. I don't think they'll put Dwayne Haskins in. And I think the Giants win this one easily. And I think Daniel Jones goes 2-0 as a starter. Chargers at Dolphins. I'm taking the Chargers in this one. I mean, the Dolphins, really, man, like, they're tanking. I've said this every week. But hey, at least last week, they held the Cowboys to like 10 points in the first half. So that's good, I guess, in a way. They're not as bad as they were in week 1 and 2, but still, I expect the Chargers to go in there and completely just destroy the Dolphins, and the Chargers go 2-2, and the Dolphins go 0-4. Next game, Raiders at Colts. I'm taking the Colts in this one. I don't think the Raiders stand much of a chance. At some point, I do expect Jacoby Brissett to fall back into reality, But this week against the Raiders, it's not going to be this week. I think the Raiders are not a very good team, and I think the Colts should easily beat them. Panthers at Texans. I'm taking the Texans in this one. I think the Texans are just a better team. Kyle Allen is a terrible quarterback. I think the Texans win this game pretty easily, and if you saw my Texans prediction video, then you would have already known this. But if you haven't seen it, be sure to go watch it because I go more in depth. Next game, Chiefs at Lions. I'm taking the Chiefs in this one. Poor Detroit, man. Hey, the Lions 2-0-1. They should be 3-0. They shouldn't have tied that first week. But it's not like the Lions have been beating scrub teams. And let me talk about that for a second. I see all these power rankings. I see, everyone has the Bills as a top 8 team. Everyone has the Niners as a top 10 team. But everyone has the Lions like as the 15th, 16th ranked team. That makes absolutely no sense. Like, the Bills played what? The Jets, the Bengals, and some other bad team. Those are the teams they've beat. While the Lions over here, they beat the Chargers and the Eagles in back-to-back weeks. Like, how in the world would you rank the Bills above the Lions? I think if any of these surprise undefeated teams, as they're calling them, the Lions, the Niners, the Bills, if any one of these 3 teams is legit, it's the Lions. It's not the Bills, it's the Lions. However, I don't think the Lions can keep up with Patrick Mahomes. I have heard that the Lions defense has been fastly improving, but even then, I don't think the Lions can beat the Chiefs. But who knows, maybe they, shock the world. And also, I heard this fun stat, or I've seen this fun stat. Patrick Mahomes is yet to play in the closed stadium. That's crazy, huh? Like, he's been in the league, what? Well, he's been in the league 3 years, but he started all of last year and 3 games this year, and he's still yet to play in an indoor stadium. That's crazy. Next game, Browns at Ravens. Browns are a mess. Ravens, at this point, man, the Ravens already won their division. The Steelers' season is over the moment Big Ben went down. The Bengals are the Bengals, and the Browns are still the Browns. The Browns have been probably one of the bigger disappointments of the season. This is why you never buy into the off-season hype. You can make all these moves during the off-season, but whatever you do in the off-season doesn't mean it's going to translate to on the field. So the Browns, off-season champs that were crowned. Regular season comes around, and they suck really bad. Baker Mayfield is struggling really bad. The O-line is bad. The coaching is bad. Baker himself is bad. So, who knows? Like, are the Browns going to stick with Freddie Kitchens after the season? Are they going to fire him? Who knows, man? But the Browns, yikes. 1-3 after this week when they play the Ravens. They play Seattle and San Francisco the following week. So, the Browns, man, Super Bowl contenders in the offseason. Right now, things aren't looking good for them. Patriots at Bills. A battle of undefeated teams. I'm taking the Patriots in this one, man. Like I said, I love the Buffalo Bills defense. I've been saying it all season. I think their defense is legit. But they haven't played a guy as good as Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady can tear him up. I think he could pass the ball all over them. And ultimately, I just don't think Josh Allen can keep up with Brady. I think Josh Allen is still a terrible quarterback. Maybe not as bad as Mitchell Trubisky. He's maybe looking better than Baker Mayfield this season, but still, I don't think Josh Allen is that good of a quarterback. That's why I am taking the Patriots. The Patriots stay undefeated, and the Bills take their first loss of the season. Buccaneers at Rams. Simply put, I don't trust Jameis Winston. I don't think he can keep up with this Rams offense, even though this Rams offense hasn't really been the same low key since the Super Bowl game. Like, I just don't feel the same way about this Rams offense as I did with them last year. Like, last year it was, oh man, Rams offense and Chiefs offense. This year it's Chiefs offense and then, Rams offense. I don't think the Rams offense is as good as it once was, even though they have all the weapons still there. I mean, I did see that Sean McVay wanted to get Todd Gurley more involved. I mean, here early on, Todd Gurley hasn't really been doing much, so who knows? Maybe if they get Gurley more involved, maybe the Rams offense becomes as explosive as it was last year. Who knows? But I'm still taking the Rams in this one. I think the Rams stay undefeated. Seahawks at Cardinals. I'm taking the Seahawks in this one. Seahawks shouldn't have really lost last week versus Teddy Bridgewater, but they still did. But here, travel to Arizona, take on the Cardinals. I think they easily take care of business and win this game. Next game, Vikings at Bears. This one is a good one, I think. It's a tough one to predict, but I'm going to go with the Bears defense. At this point, it's what defense do you trust the most? And I think the Bears defense is better. I do like the Vikings defense a lot, but the Bears are at home. Honestly, this one's a toss-up, but this is going to be a hard-fought defensive battle. I hope they televise this game because I want to see the Vikings defense wreak havoc on Mitchell Trubisky, and I want to see the Bears defense wreak havoc on Kirk Cousins. Two terrible quarterbacks against very good defenses. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if this game was like 3-0 at the end of the first half, and then the final score is 2-3. I can't wait for this one. Hope it's televised. Next game, Jaguars at Broncos. The Broncos defense, Von Miller and Chubb are both missing. They haven't done anything all season, and the legend of Gardner Minshew keeps on growing, and I think the Jaguars and Gardner Minshew go into Denver and pull out the win. Denver falls to 0-4, and the Jaguars get back to 500 and sit at 2-2. Cowboys at Saints. This one would have been a good one if Drew Brees was healthy, but he is not. I don't trust Bridgewater. I wouldn't trust Bridgewater versus his defense. You guys saw last year, I think the Cowboys held the Saints to like 10 points or something like that. So I think that'll probably happen again, especially with Bridgewater at quarterback. I don't like Bridgewater. I'm sorry, but I think at best he's a poor man's Alex Smith. Now for the matchup we've all been waiting for. Game of the week. Bengals at Steelers on Monday Night Football. I swear, man, like I said last week, late into the season, they let the NFL flex the primetime games. Why in the world is this not an option early on in the season? Nobody wants to watch the Bengals at Steelers, a battle of two 0-3 teams who can tank the most. Nobody wants to watch this. I'm not even sure if I want to watch it, and I watch every game possible. It's that bad. And that's not even the worst part. Even before the Bengals started 0-3, even before Big Ben got hurt, whose bright idea was it to put the Bengals and Steelers on primetime? Like, come on. Everybody knew the Bengals were going to be bad. Why would you put a bad team on primetime? It makes no sense to me. Honestly, I think this one is a toss-up. I'm taking the home team in this one, though, just because they're at home, but wouldn't be shocked if the Bengals came away with the win here. Either way, terrible game. The Cowboys and Saints one had potential to be a good primetime game, but of course you can't predict injuries, so I'm not going to bash them for that one. But the Bengals and Steelers, like, come on. At least the Thursday Night Football game is going to be really good in my opinion. But, yeah, those are my predictions for the week. Comment down below your own predictions for the week. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.